Betelgeuse, the massive red supergiant star, is nearing the end of its existence, at least in cosmic terms. But the massive fireball is going out with a bang. In fact, NASA has just released shocking information on the Betelgeuse explosion. This is what happens next. Betelgeuse is one of the largest and brightest stars in the night sky, located in the constellation Orion. It has a mass about 10 to 20 times that of the Sun and is thought to be around 8 million years old. In recent years, it has been observed to be dimming and changing shape, leading to speculation that it may be about to explode as a supernova. However, it is still uncertain when this will happen, and it's possible that the star could return to its normal brightness in the future. When it does eventually explode, it will briefly become one of the brightest objects in the night sky, visible even during the day, and it will leave behind a dense core known as a neutron star or black hole. So, what if Betelgeuse were to go boom today? What would that mean for Earth? And if something like that happens, would that change the universe forever? Let's find out in today's video. At a distance of only 650 light-years from Earth, Betelgeuse is one of the stars that is closest to us. Because of this, both professional and amateur astronomers are fascinated by Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is a red giant star, which means that when it dies, it will explode in a supernova, possibly turning into a black hole in the process. Let's say that today is the day Betelgeuse decides to stop shining and puts on a great light show. But before you buy tickets for Betelgeuse's big show, you might want to know what kind of damage an exploding star could do to Earth. Well, you could compare stars to nuclear power plants. If they go off, it will be a disaster on a galactic scale. Everything within 50 light-years of Betelgeuse when it blows up will be hit by huge shockwaves and covered in dust and radiation. Will you survive that astronomical explosion? Watch till the end to find out. Monster star had never before seen Titanic eruption. Betelgeuse looks like a brilliant ruby-red twinkling spot of light in the winter constellation Orion, the hunter's right shoulder. But when astronomers look at it closely, they see a monster with a heartbeat that lasts 400 days and pulses regularly. This old star is called a supergiant because it has gotten so big that its diameter is about 1 billion miles. It would reach as far as Jupiter's orbit if you put it in the middle of our solar system. The star will eventually explode as a supernova. When that happens, it will be visible from Earth during the day for a short time. But right now, there are a lot of fireworks going off before the big one. Astronomers have found out using Hubble and other telescopes that a huge piece of the star's visible surface blew off in 2019. This is how a star has never looked before. The sun's moody nature constantly sends out large amounts of its outer atmosphere, called the corona. But what happened on Betelgeuse was a lot more important than these things. This was the first sign when the star suddenly went dark in late 2019. As the thrown-away surface cooled, it became a big cloud of dust that made it hard to see. Now, astronomers have a plan for what caused the earthquake. The photosphere is putting itself back together, so the star is still getting better, and the inside is shaking like a bell that's been hit with a sledgehammer, which is throwing off the star's normal cycle. This doesn't mean that the monster star is going to blow up soon, but the shaking may continue to amaze astronomers. Astronomers have decided, after looking at data from NASA's Hubble Space Telescope and a few other observatories, that the bright red supergiant star Betelgeuse lost a big chunk of its visible surface, which caused a huge surface mass ejection. A normal star has never done anything like this before. Parts of the sun's thin outer atmosphere are blown away in what is called a coronal mass ejection, but the SME from Betelgeuse lost 400 billion times as much mass as a normal CME. After what happened, the monster star is still slowly getting back to normal. Andrea Dupree of the Center for Astrophysics at Harvard and Smithsonian in Cambridge, Massachusetts, said, "Betelgeuse is still doing some very strange things. The inside kind of moves around. Scientists are learning more about how red stars lose mass as their nuclear fusion furnaces run out of fuel and before they explode as supernova because of these new observations. A lot of what happens to them depends on how much mass they lose, but Betelgeuse's strangely spoiled behavior isn't proof that the star is going to blow up soon. So losing mass is not always a sign that something is going to explode." Dupree is now putting together all the pieces of the star's grumpy behavior before, after, and during the eruption into a story about an old star's first ever Titanic convulsion. This includes new information from the Stellar Robotic Observatory, the Fred L. Whipple's Observatory's Tillinghast Reflector Eshel Spectrograph, or TRACE, NASA's Solar Terrestrial Relations Observatory spacecraft, or STEREO-A, NASA's Hubble Space Telescope, and the American Association of Variable Star Observers, or AVSO. Dupree keeps saying that the Hubble data was the key to figuring out what was going on. We've never seen a lot of mass fly off a star's surface before. We don't fully understand what is going on. Hubble lets us look straight at and see surface details of something brand new. We can watch in real time as the stars change. A convective plume that rose from deep inside the star may have caused the huge explosion in 2019. It was 1 million miles wide or more. It caused shocks and pulsations that blew the piece of photosphere off, leaving the star with a large area of cool surface under the dust cloud made by the piece of photosphere cooling down. Betelgeuse is now having a hard time getting better. The broken piece of photosphere, which was several times as heavy as our moon, went into space and cooled into a dust cloud that blocked the light from the star as seen from Earth. The dimming began at the end of 2019 and lasted for a few months. People could see the star even from their own backyards. Betelgeuse is one of the brightest stars in the sky, so it's easy to find. It's on the right shoulder of Orion's belt. The fact that the supergiant's pulse rate has stopped, maybe for good, is even more amazing. Since almost 200 years ago, astronomers have been able to measure this rhythm by watching how Betelgeuse's brightness and surface move. It shows how bad the blowout was that it caused trouble. Dupree thinks that the star's convection cells, which make it pulse regularly, may be moving around like water in an unbalanced washing machine tub. TRACE and Hubble spectra show that the outer layers may be back to normal, but the surface is still bouncing like a plate of gelatin dessert as the photosphere rebuilds itself. Even though our sun has coronal mass ejections that send small pieces of its outer atmosphere into space, astronomers have never seen so much of a star's visible surface go into space, so coronal mass ejections might not be the same as surface mass ejections. Betelgeuse is now so big that if it took the place of the sun at the center of our solar system, its surface would go past Jupiter's orbit. Dupree used Hubble to look for hot spots on a star's surface in 1996. It was the first time that a star besides the sun had been seen straight on. As the material moves away from the star, NASA's Webb Space Telescope might be able to see it in infrared light. Betelgeuse could be 724 light-years away from Earth, although some estimates place it farther away. Determining distances to red supergiant stars such as Betelgeuse is a vexing problem in astronomy. Even though Betelgeuse is very far away, it is one of the brightest stars in the Earth's sky because it is very bright on its own, about 100,000 times brighter than our sun. Betelgeuse has so much power that it burns through its fuel quickly, which speeds up the end of its life. Soon, the star will run out of fuel, break up under its own weight, and then go supernova. When this happens, Betelgeuse will get very bright for a few weeks or months, maybe getting as bright as the full moon and being visible during the day. How soon will it go off? It's unlikely to happen in our lifetimes, but no one knows when it will actually go off. It could happen tomorrow or 1 million years from now. Will its supernova destroy Earth? Whenever Betelgeuse does blow up, our planet Earth is too far away for this explosion to harm, much less destroy, life on Earth. Astrophysicists say we'd have to be within 50 light-years of a supernova for it to harm us, and Betelgeuse is over 14 times this distance. Instead, anyone alive on Earth when it happens will see an amazingly beautiful sight in the night sky, a very, very, very bright star. Astronomers will be lucky to have Betelgeuse as close as it is, so they can study the star post-supernova. Betelgeuse in the night sky. Betelgeuse is a prominent star in the evenings of January and February in the mid-northern latitudes, and by the start of March, it's directly south in the early evening. Its distinctive shade of orange-red is a great way to show people that stars have colors. Although it's not as bright as Rigel, Betelgeuse is still designated as Alpha Orionis, the brightest star in the Orion constellation, due to its historical importance. It is the 10th brightest star in the sky and the 7th brightest star visible from most of the northern hemisphere. In recent years, Betelgeuse has been the focus of intense study due to its changing behavior. As I mentioned earlier, the star has been observed to be dimming and changing shape, leading to speculation that it may be about to explode as a supernova. However, it's still uncertain when this will happen, and some scientists believe that the changes may be due to other factors, such as dust clouds or convection within the star. Regardless of when it goes supernova, The explosion of Betelgeuse will be a spectacular event that will be visible from Earth even during the day. It will also provide scientists with a wealth of data about the physics of supernova and the evolution of massive stars. That pretty much wraps this video up, guys. Thanks for watching. So, what are your thoughts about Betelgeuse's gigantic explosion and its aftermath? Share with us in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to this channel with a bell notification if you enjoy watching our content. We upload some awesome stuff here which you will most certainly enjoy. Hit a like on this video and leave a comment below. See you guys in the next one.